Jealous of my baby shower gifts, my sister-in-law tried to ruin everything. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. He asked for returns, and she signed my name, smiling. The room smelled like buttercream and citrus cleaner. Tissue paper rustled while guests stood frozen with their plates of mini quiches and fruit skewers. I had picked this Sunday months ago because it was quiet at the community center and my feet swelled less in the mornings. I'm 29, 32 weeks along, and I have budget spreadsheets for everything from diapers to car seats. I don't come from money, I come from lists. So when I didn't ask for returns, I said, steady as I could manage. He frowned, thumb hovering over his handheld scanner. Your email confirmed a pickup at 11:30. We have a QR. Daniel rubbed my shoulder, unsure, caught between protecting me and not making a scene with his sister. Jade's eyes sliced from the courier to the pile of wrapped boxes to Kelsey's bright, innocent smile. People whispered. I kept breathing. The gifts were more than things. They were months of tiny kindnesses from friends who knew our budget was tight. A bassinet we couldn't afford new. A pump. A video monitor. We weren't fancy, but we were prepared. Show me the QR, Jade said. Her voice had that no-nonsense edge she gets when a login fails or a vendor lies. The courier held out his screen. The code looked like ours, but the short link under it wasn't. It had my first name and a hyphen and a number string I didn't recognize. I remembered the invite site, how the QR rerouted to our registry page. But this didn't land on our page. It landed on a form titled Returns Authorized, MY. The timer under it ticked down from 6 minutes. I looked at Kelsey. She looked back with glossy eyes and a little shrug that said, I'm just helping. I thought about the nursery, quiet and almost finished, and felt something harden. Hold the pickup, I told the courier. We need to verify this authorization. Kelsey's smile widened as the countdown bled into 5 minutes. 2 months earlier, when we first told the family, Kelsey hugged me with one arm and took a selfie with the other. Finally, some content, she said, joking but not. Her gloss perfect, her nails almond-shaped with tiny gold moons. She ran a lifestyle page that lived on comparison, brunch tables, pastel planners, seasonal hauls. I liked her fine and small doses, the way you like a scented candle you didn't choose. After the second trimester, the jabs sharpened. Some of us had to pay for our stroller, she'd sigh, loud enough, when I mentioned a discount code Jade found. At dinner, she teased Daniel about the paint color in the nursery. So beige, it's practically a doctor's waiting room. You should borrow my accent wall guy. When I posted the registry, she DM'd me to upgrade a few brands so guests wouldn't accidentally embarrass themselves. It was framed as care, but it landed like a slap. Daniel's mom tried to keep peace, stirring gravy and saying, You girls just want the best. Daniel squeezed my fingers under the table. I changed the subject 12 times. It still felt like we were sliding towards something we didn't name. The week the invitations went out, a second RSVP email appeared in my inbox full of duplicates from people who had already replied yes. The link in their confirmations was familiar, but a line shorter. I clicked it. It opened the same page with a small difference. Our registry button was replaced with an Update for Maya button. I closed it, reopened the original invite, and compared source views. The QR images weren't the same. Is this you? Jade texted, screenshotting a story on Kelsey's page. A close-up of our invite with a fresh QR slapped over the old one like a sticker. I DM'd Kelsey. Please don't share the invite. We're keeping it small. She left me on read. Then she posted a reel about being the organized aunt. I scrolled comments until my chest hurt. That night, I taped paint chips to the nursery wall and told myself I was overreacting. In the morning, one of the swaddles from the dresser drawer was gone. I retraced my steps. Maybe I moved the swaddle during a nesting frenzy and forgot. I checked the laundry basket, the bag of returns from last week, even the trunk of the car. It wasn't anywhere. I opened our registry dashboard. Someone had toggled hide purchased off, then on, then off in the span of an hour I was at my prenatal appointment. The IP address was masked, but the device tag read iPhone, 13 guest. My stomach tightened. I told Daniel, softening it. Probably just a glitch. Or I did it without thinking. He put on his jacket, kissed my forehead. Let's not spiral. Mom said Kelsey offered to help with RSVPs. Maybe she's smoothing things. The community center called that afternoon. We got your email about reversing the deposit, the manager said. We can hold your date for 48 hours while you decide. My email? I asked, feeling stupid and very awake. She read an address with my name and one extra number. The message used my phrases, tight budget, low traffic hours, thank you in advance. It even matched my signature line minus the emoji. I texted Jade. I feel like someone is wearing my voice. Her reply came quick. Stop guessing. Start documenting. Screenshots, times, who said what, where. I copied every page and saved them in a folder named Bunny. A joke from when we said our baby looked like a kidney bean, and then a tadpole, and then something rabbitish. My hands shook anyway. At 5, Daniel's mom called. Honey, don't worry about the venue. Kelsey says she has a better spot reserved and a brand partnership for balloons. My chest iced over. We can't afford a partnership that comes with strings. It's free, she said. Well, exposure. I stared at the blank wall where the mobile would hang and finally heard the alarm I'd been silencing. My inbox pinged with a calendar cancellation stamped with my forged name. It timestamped 2:14 p.m. when I was on hold with insurance and listed, host prefers influencer venue. A PNG QR routed to a link shortener I didn't recognize. The subject used my name like a label. A second cancellation landed before I could breathe, signed again by not me. The invite site showed 2 admin accounts, mine and a new one created 3 days after we mailed the envelopes. Its recovery email truncated as m****events at, not mine. The new QR image had the same color palette but different pixel density. Jade zoomed in and found a faint watermark, Kelsey. CO/collabs, buried in the white margin like a tattoo under makeup. I felt nausea that wasn't pregnancy. Daniel hovered near the couch, watching me type. Let's call her. This feels off. Calling gives her room to perform, Jade said, practical. We need artifacts. She opened the registry's backend logs and exported a CSV. Rows of timestamps and device tags bloomed on my screen. Edits clustered between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., mostly from iPhone 13, guest, sometimes Android_Safari. Our real friends added notes at lunchtime and after work. The patterns didn't lie. At 3:12 p.m., while I was at the pharmacy picking up prenatal vitamins, someone activated bulk return option, host authorized. 15 minutes later, the store account tied to our registry had a credit-issued flag. The funds didn't hit our card. We drove to the big box store. Customer service smelled like warm plastic and floor cleaner. A manager in a blue vest approached. His tag read Patel. He had calm eyes like a good math teacher. I think someone's using my name to return gifts that aren't theirs, I said, voice steadier than I felt. We're not trying to cause trouble. We just need to stop it. He nodded and typed. We can review today's logs with your ID and order number, he said. We'll mask personal info for anyone else involved. He scrolled, then paused. There's a note. Maya authorized pickup. Sister-in-law Kelsey will show ID. Daniel swallowed. She put it in writing? Mr. Patel clicked a line item. A digital signature popped up, my name, written with a flourish I never use. Can we see where the refund landed? Jade asked. His eyes flicked up, careful. I can tell you if it didn't land here. It didn't, he said softly. The credit was routed to a store wallet ending in 48KL. A courier alert pinged my phone, confirming a pickup window in 30 minutes. Back home, the apartment felt smaller, like the walls had moved in. Daniel turned off the kitchen light and leaned against the counter. I know how this looks, he said, voice low, but Kelsey's always been dramatic online and helpful in real life. Maybe she's mixed up and we'll fix it. I wanted to say fixing starts before the damage. Instead, I pulled up the shared folder I made that afternoon. Bunny now held screenshots, the CSV from the registry, Mr. Patel's first name only note about the wallet ending in 48KL, and the voicemail from the venue saying my deposit reversal was received. Jade joined on speaker, typing while we talked. We need to stop thinking in vibes and start thinking in verifiable, she said. Maya, write a timeline. Daniel, ask your mom to summarize exactly what Kelsey told her. And change your passwords. 2-factor everywhere. Daniel rubbed his eyes. Can we not turn this into a war? I'm turning it into a record, I said. The baby shower can be small. The baby's life can't be signed for by anyone who smiles at a barcode. His phone lit up with a call from his mother. He put it on speaker. "Sweetheart," she said, "Kelsey is devastated. She says she's been trying to help you, and you're making her feel like a thief." I looked at the wall calendar with our due date circled like a bullseye. "We're asking questions because money moved without consent," I said. "Has Kelsey mentioned any partners or sponsors?" A pause. "She did say a balloon company would give a discount if she showcased the party, and a brand wanted tags on the registry posts." "When did she tell you that?" Jade asked. "This morning," his mother said. "Around 9. Jade clicked keys, fast. Registry edit at 9:18 a.m. Enable bulk returns for event features. Daniel's jaw flexed. "I'll talk to her tonight. No scenes. Just clarity." A text from Kelsey arrived, bright, asking if she should handle the problem guests. Attached was a list of names, including Jade, with a note. "Send new QR privately." I breathed through a wave of heat, counted 3, and typed back, "No, I'll handle communication." My thumb hovered over send as the courier notification chimed again with an arriving soon ping. Daniel looked at me, then the door, and whispered, "Do we stall him?" He didn't look dangerous, just bored, the way people look when they work weekends. I could see my warped reflection in his handheld screen, the countdown now at 90 seconds. "We can stall," I said to Daniel, then turned to the courier. "Our authorization may be compromised. Please wait while I verify with the store." He shifted his weight. "I can pause the pickup for 5 minutes," he said. "After that, the request clears." "Perfect," Jade said. She stepped toward Kelsey, still smiling too brightly near the punch bowl. "Kelsey, can I borrow your phone? I want to show you something on the invite site." "Use yours," Kelsey said, laugh tight. "Mine's dying." I kept my voice level. "Then let's use mine." I opened the registry's change log and mirrored my screen to the community center's TV, the one the staff uses for slideshows and baby photo reels. Rows of edits filled the display like an EKG. Enable bulk returns, change pickup address, update QR. The device label blinked iPhone, 13 guest. "We need the recovery email," Jade said softly. "Tap the admin list." I did. It showed my address and the second one with M*** events at. Below it pulsed a tiny gray link. "Send code to backup email." "Don't," Daniel murmured. "If this is her, she'll know we're onto her." "She already knows," I said, hearing the steel in my tone. I pressed the link. A progress spinner turned. The TV flashed a notification, code sent to Kelsey. Events at, the part after the @ symbol blurred by the platform, but the name was whole. My heart stuttered. Kelsey's face didn't move. Mr. Patel called. I put him on speaker. "If the courier is present," he said, "I can verify whether today's pickup ties to the wallet ending in 48KL. I'll need the one-time pickup code." The courier read the 4 digits. Patel typed. "Confirmed," he said. "And the requested pickup location is listed as a locker unit on Pine Street." Kelsey blinked fast, voice sugary. "Maya, if someone's scamming you, let me call my contacts. People send me products all the time. I can help." I stared at the TV, where a fresh edit appeared at 11:29. "Change contact phone for returns. 555-013-7762. "Daniel," I said. "What's Kelsey's number right now?" Daniel's mother hovered near the coffee urn, twisting the stack of napkins into a tight rope, eyes darting between my face and Kelsey's gloss. Someone turned the music down. The speakers hissed softly, a sound like static over a weak radio signal. I could feel the baby shift under my palm, a slow roll that steadied me more than any deep breath. The sign-in table still showed 2 pens and a guest book open to a page of looping hearts. I noticed a smudge of frosting near the RSVP list and thought about how careless smudges can sometimes tell the truest story. Kelsey's lip trembled only when Daniel said her number out loud. Daniel's mouth opened, then closed. He glanced at his phone like it had suddenly grown teeth. "She changes numbers for brand deals," he said. "I don't always keep up." "Then ask your mom," Jade said. He texted. A moment later, his mother replied with a screenshot of her contact card for Kelsey. "Call logs, recent." The number ending in 7762 sat at the top with a timestamp. 9:03 a.m. right before the registry's bulk returns edit at 9:18 a.m. Jade held the two screenshots side by side like microscope slides. We need one more data point, I said. I opened the group chat. Earlier, Aunt Ruth had asked where to park. Kelsey had replied with a short link. I long pressed, copied, and pasted it into a link expander. The preview unfurled to reveal a redirect through a URL shortener that logged clicks. I tapped stats. A graph appeared. Most clicks came from our guest cities. One spike came from a gym's public Wi-Fi on Pine Street. Locker, Jade said. Same block. Mr. Patel called back. In case it helps, he said gently, I can delay our system's clearance for a courier if the account holder requests it. But the account holder listed for that wallet is not you. Can you tell me the initials? I asked. He was careful. The display name is K.L. Events. Kelsey's smile lost a degree. That could be anyone, she said. Loads of people use events. But not your exact initials, Jade said mildly. And not the number that texted Daniel's mom at 9:03. My phone buzzed with a new message. Problem guests handled, new QR sent. XXK. Beneath it, a list of names I loved. The room felt colder. The courier cleared his throat. Ma'am, he said. My 5 minutes are up. I nodded to Jade. Ready? She nodded back. I turned to the courier. We're refusing pickup authorization, and I will hand you a formal revocation notice in writing. He raised his brows like, okay then. I grabbed a pen, wrote the words Jade dictated, signed my true signature, and took a photo for the bunny folder. The room recalibrated around small noises, a chair leg scraping, a fork clinking porcelain, a child giggling down the hallway where someone had hung paper clouds with tape. I watched Daniel's shoulders rise and fall as he read his mother's screenshot again, hoping the numbers would change if he blinked hard enough. My phone vibrated with a guest's gentle question about whether they should still bring diapers next week. I typed yes, then deleted it, then typed it again. The registry graph updated in real time, a thin blue line climbing like a pulse searching for a rhythm it could keep. The courier watched us, waiting, as Kelsey's smile finally stopped working. The courier left with an empty dolly. Guests exhaled as if someone turned the oxygen back on. The damage wasn't final, but the trust felt cracked, like a mug glued wrong. We cut the cake because the knife was already out. People hugged me tighter than usual and tucked cards into my hand with careful eyes. Jade packed the bigger gifts into the back room and locked the door. Daniel hovered, pale, making small talk with the speed of a man bailing water with a spoon. When the last guest left, Mr. Patel met us at the store. He had printed the audit for our registry's store interface. Names were masked with initials, but the path was clear as freeway lines. At 10:41, a return authorization request was filed under my name from an IP assigned to the Pine Street gym. At 10:47, credit was issued to wallet KL48. At 10:52, an address label printed to a parcel locker kiosk. We also caught a pattern, he said, laying out 3 receipts. 2 previous returns this week, smaller items. Same wallet. The pickup person showed a digital ID badge with your name, but the photo edges were off. Deep faked, Jade asked. He smiled wryly. More like photoshopped with a free app. Can we reverse any of this? Daniel asked. We can flag the wallet and freeze store credit pending review, Mr. Patel said. If you file an impersonation claim with the form I email, we can require in-person pickup with government ID for anything tied to your account. I nodded, relief thin but real. Please do it. On the way out, Jade stopped by the promotion board. A flyer advertised locker pickup, fast, secure, discreet, with a tiny map of Pine Street. Daniel stared at it like it might confess. We're not guessing anymore, I said. We're planning. That night, Jade and I created a decoy registry link with a subtle watermark. Bunny, Maple, 28, baked into the background pixels. We set alerts. If anyone toggled returns, a text would ping. We also scheduled a high-value item for pickup tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. with a unique pickup code that only existed on the decoy page. In the audit room's fluorescent wash, the paper edges felt rough against my fingertips, as if the trees they came from still remembered wind. Mr. Patel kept his tone neutral, the way good professionals do when they could scold but choose to serve. He highlighted the locker line with a yellow pen, slow, precise, a bright band of certainty over a week that had blurred. Jade took photos of every page with a flat, methodical patience, naming the files with dates and times like breadcrumbs you could follow even in the dark. Tomorrow at 6:30, our plan would either clear us or crush us. Dinner at his mother's house felt like walking onto a stage that someone else had dressed. The table was gorgeous, linen runner, eucalyptus branches, place cards with little wax seals. Kelsey floated in wearing cream, her perfume powdery and expensive. She kissed my cheek like we hadn't just blocked a courier. "How's my favorite mama?" she asked, voice bright. "Better," I said, choosing a calm tone like armor. Daniel squeezed my knee under the table. Halfway through roasted chicken, Kelsey tapped her glass. "So, small update. I reached out to a couple of brands to smooth over any confusion, but if Maya prefers to do it her way, I'll stand down." "Totally." She smiled at Daniel's mom as if handing over a peace lily. "Stand down from using my name," I said gently. "That's non-negotiable." Her smile flickered. "I never used your name without permission." Daniel's mom cleared her throat. "Let's not accuse. Feelings are high. The baby is near." Jade, seated beside me like a quiet sword, set her phone face down. "Tomorrow, 6:30. We'd love you both to join us at the store to pick up a gift. Maya has to show ID to claim it." Kelsey's fork paused midair. "Why would we do that?" "Because it's nice to celebrate together," Jade said, almost sweet. Daniel's mother glanced between us, reading something she didn't want to name. "All right," she said finally. "We'll go." After dessert, Kelsey found me in the hallway, voice low. "You really think I'd steal from my own nephew?" I held her gaze. "I think you like attention more than boundaries." She laughed, small and sharp. "Careful, Maya. People who play the victim get very boring online." Back home, the alert system pinged. Registry page opened from iPhone 13 guest. A second later, attempted return toggle blocked. I exhaled for the first time all day. Daniel sat beside me on the bed, head in his hands, then leaned into my shoulder like he had when we were 22 and broke, and thought love could fix logistics alone. The dining room smelled like lemon oil and roast chicken and the faint sharpness of fresh flowers. Place cards spelled our names in looping ink. A tiny wax seal pressed with a leaf glistened at each plate like a promise. When Kelsey raised her glass, her bracelets chimed, a small bell that once signaled celebration and now sounded like a warning. I kept my napkin folded carefully, a square anchored to the table, because anchoring small things felt like choosing not to float away. Kelsey's eyes glittered like knives when Daniel promised to stand beside me. All day, the alert stayed quiet like the air before a storm. At 6:20 p.m., we pulled into the store lot. Jade wore her focused face. Daniel's mother had a tight smile that mothers use when their children disappoint them. Kelsey arrived separately, late by 5 minutes, eyeing the cameras like mildly famous people do. Mr. Patel met us by customer service with a small tablet and a professional calm that steadied my breathing. "For pickup, the account holder shows ID," he said, nodding to me. "Our system will log the attempt, and I'll display relevant metadata on this screen. If anyone else tries to use this code at a locker, we'll see an alert." "So boring," Kelsey sighed. "Can't we just open gifts and be happy?" "Happiness is safer when it's honest," I said. Mr. Patel scanned the code from my phone, the unique one embedded in Bunny, Maple, 28. The tablet pinged. "Pickup code validated by account holder. Status, pending item release." He nodded to a staffer, who retrieved a sealed box with a tamper sticker. "We'll wait 5 minutes," Patel said. "If a duplicate attempt shows at a locker, the system flags it." Daniel's mother shifted, defensive. "This is extreme. Kelsey helps with everything. She arranged flowers for 3 cousins' weddings." "And I'm sure she was generous then," Jade said softly. "Today is different." A minute passed, then another. On the tablet, a tiny red dot blinked on a map overlay of the neighborhood. Patel tapped. "Locker unit, Pine Street. Duplicate code entry attempt. Source device, iPhone 13 guest." Kelsey's breath hitched. "Lots of iPhone 13s exist," she said, voice thin. The staffer returned, placing the box on the counter. Patel turned his screen so only I could see. "We have a camera still," he said. "Pickup window timestamped 6 hours 27 minutes and 18 seconds. He angled the photo a degree more. In the grainy image, a woman in cream looked at her phone while holding a tote with gold moons. The tote matched Kelsey's nails from 2 months ago. A cart rattled by with a cascade of gift bags, tissue paper blooming like pastel clouds. The intercom announced a cleanup in aisle 14. I focused on the ordinary sounds because the extraordinary ones, alert pings, map dots, made my skin hum. Daniel's mother studied the floor tiles as if they might spell a kinder version of events. Jade stood a half step behind me, hands folded over her phone, breath measured, a metronome beside my racing heart. The red map dot pulsed again, and somebody whispered Kelsey's name like prayer. Kelsey straightened slowly, chin lifting like a curtain. "This is harassment," she said. "You set me up with your little hacker friend." She pointed at Jade as if naming a villain. "I set up a safety check," Jade said. "The code wasn't public. It only existed on a watermarked page that we controlled." Mr. Patel maintained his careful tone. "Our concern is impersonation and theft. The system shows two code uses, one by the account holder in person and one at a locker by a device that also toggled bulk returns. We will freeze wallet KL 48 pending investigation." Kelsey's eyes flooded, then cleared in a blink. "You don't understand," she said to Daniel's mother. "I was trying to fix it. Maya picked cheap brands, and people were whispering. I wanted it to look better." "By rerouting gifts?" I asked. My voice stayed even. "By signing my name?" She flinched. "I returned duplicates and things nobody really wanted to buy, and I was going to replace them with nicer versions from partners. The locker was just for convenience. You were going to thank me later." Daniel's face broke. "You used my mom to justify this." His mother swayed, catching herself on the counter. "Kelsey, you told me you had approval." Kelsey's jaw clicked. "I had implied approval because Maya posted the registry publicly. That's a signal." "Posting a registry is not consent to impersonate," Jade said. "It's an invitation to celebrate, not a license." Mr. Patel cleared his throat. "We'll need a statement," he said. "And you should expect contact from loss prevention." Kelsey grabbed her purse, eyes glittering with anger. "Daniel, either you come with me or you stay with this circus." She waited, calculating confidence stitched to panic. Daniel inhaled, slow and final. "I'm staying." Kelsey's smile shattered. "You'll regret humiliating me," she whispered, backing away under fluorescent lights that showed every crack she denied. She bumped the display, knocking a ribbon of pacifiers to the floor, then fled toward the sliding doors as the red map that kept blinking on Pine Street like a heartbeat you couldn't ignore. A toddler in a cart nearby reached for a stuffed giraffe and laughed, a sound so uncomplicated it made my throat ache. Mr. Patel printed a receipt of the freeze order and slid it across the counter with the careful grace of someone handing over a fragile heirloom. Daniel didn't look at Kelsey. He looked at me, and in that look I saw the shape of the family we could still build if we chose truth over performance. Jade's reflection in the plexiglass divider looked like a shield someone had finally decided to hold up. Outside, a siren wailed faintly as Kelsey fled into the evening heat. In the small office behind customer service, under a poster about returns policy, I gave my statement. Mr. Patel printed a copy. I signed, dated, and added my phone number. He handed Daniel's mother tissues and water. On the tablet, the locker attempt flipped from pending to denied, and an automated email sent a freeze notice to KL 48. My shoulders dropped a fraction. Loss prevention joined via video. A woman named Harris walked us through next steps. "We'll keep all names internal," she said. "Our concern is closing the loop, not wrecking a family. But if items were liquidated or resold, we may involve law enforcement. For now, change passwords, revoke access, and consider a fraud alert with your registry platforms." "Understood," I said. My voice sounded like a grown-up's. Daniel's mother stared at her hands. "I believed her," she whispered, "because she always looks like she knows what she's doing." "That's what gloss is for," Jade said, not unkindly. "To make the surface look like consent." We drove home in a silence that wasn't empty. It was crowded with things we had to change. The nursery felt smaller and safer under the low lamp. I folded each card, each note, each polite line of encouragement, like talismans. Daniel sat on the floor and assembled the bassinet without instructions, as if building something with his hands could anchor him. My phone buzzed. A DM from Kelsey, long, breathless, framed as an apology but edged like a blade. "I panicked," she wrote. "I'm drowning in credit card debt and needed the points and affiliate income to cover the shower decor I already pre-ordered. You're ungrateful. Family handles things in-house." I stared at the words. Shame and anger tried to braid themselves into a rope. I put the phone down and breathed the sawdust scent from the bassinet's cardboard. Jade texted a screenshot from a resale app. 3 baby monitors, brand new, listed under a handle with gold moon emojis. I typed back, "Will screenshot and attach to the claim." Then I opened a blank note and titled it Boundaries. No access, no accounts, no events without consent. My hand steadied as I wrote the first line like a promise to our kid and to my old self who said yes too easily because no felt unkind. Harris's voice stayed steady as she explained timelines, appeals, escalation paths. She reminded us to screenshot everything twice and back it up somewhere no one else could reach. I wrote bullet points with a slow pen, my handwriting squarer than usual, each letter standing upright like a small soldier. Daniel forwarded the fraud alert links to his mother, who nodded like homework had been assigned and she was going to turn it in on time. Outside, dusk layered the parking lot in lavender and exhaust. Inside, the office smelled like toner and caution. We thanked Mr. Patel more than once because gratitude is also proof. A tiny kick inside me answered the decision waiting for tomorrow. The next morning, the store emailed confirmations. Wallet KL, 48 frozen, 2 prior refunds reversed, replacement orders processing to our address. They attached Harris's case number and a list of items temporarily on hold. I forwarded everything to the bunny folder, then sent Daniel's mother a calm summary with attachments and times. She replied with a single sentence, "I'm sorry, and I'm listening." Then the spillover began. Kelsey posted a story about toxic jealousy ruining family joy. Careful not to name me, but obvious enough to invite speculation. Friends damned me, startled. I replied with a neutral line. "We're handling a private matter and appreciate your restraint." The tightrope felt real. I could torture with screenshots, or I could protect my kid from a war that never ends online. Loss prevention called it noon. "We're issuing a store ban for the implicated wallet and associated devices," Harris said. "If further attempts occur, police will be notified." Daniel exhaled like he'd been holding air for a week. "What now?" "We shrink the shower and widen the boundaries," I said. "No QR codes. No registries. People who want to give can bring a card or drop things off later." Jade printed NO pickups authorized signs in bold and taped them to the building's entrance and our door. Daniel's mother came over with a bag of secondhand baby clothes from his cousin and a quiet apology. We ate soup at the small table I'd thrifted in grad school, and for a moment, the room felt like itself again. That evening, Kelsey sent Daniel a final offer. "Delete the claims and I'll replace everything with better brands." He stared at his phone, then placed it face down. "You can say no," I said. He nodded, texted one sentence, and showed me, "We won't enable you." The typing bubble pulsed, then stopped, then pulsed again as if she couldn't decide which mask to wear. The bubble vanished. The apartment hummed, quiet and braced. I cleaned the kitchen not because it was dirty, but because motion untied knots my brain couldn't. The sponge made clean rectangles on the counter. The drying rack gathered small victories. 2 bottles, 3 spoons, a pacifier with a star. Jade texted a meme about QR codes being the horoscopes of logistics, and I laughed out loud, which felt like permission to breathe. Daniel sorted mail into stacks, bills, coupons, baby catalogs with glossy promises. We sat on the floor and opened exactly one gift, a board book about a bear who finds home by following breadcrumbs of kindness. It was on no registry, and it was perfect. Some lines, once drawn, don't erase even when families beg softness. We held a redo shower 2 weeks later in the little courtyard behind our building, under string lights Daniel hung with our neighbor. No QR codes, no invite site, no brand tags. People came with casseroles and hand-me-down strollers that had more love than logos. Jade set up a Polaroid guest book. Daniel's mother brought a lemon cake and sat beside me, cutting slices and telling a story about Daniel as a toddler who insisted shoes went on hands. A few guests asked about Kelsey with careful eyebrows. "She's taking space," I said, which was true and kind and enough. Harris emailed that morning confirming the investigation's closeout. Funds returned, wallet frozen, notes added to prevent future impersonation. Mr. Patel sent a line that made me swallow hard. "Wishing you an easy delivery and many boring returns experiences." We opened gifts slowly. Each card felt like a small fence built by friends around our little patch of safety. A neighbor handed me a bag with a hand-knit blanket. I didn't have money for the big stuff, she said, eyes flitting away. But I wanted you to have something warm. This is the big stuff, I said, meaning it. After everyone left, Daniel and I stood in the nursery, now real. The bassinet, the mobile, the stack of tiny clothes folded into a drawer that used to hold tax forms. I taped the boundaries note inside a closet door where only we would see it. We set a rule: no shared logins, no surprises that cost us control, no guilt disguised as help. Daniel touched the door frame like he was sealing it. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner, he said. Seeing it now is what matters, I said. And I believed myself. The window rattled lightly in a breeze, and I pictured a baby hand curled around my finger the way Daniel's hand curled around mine when we were scared and moving anyway. The phone stayed face down and silent. The room smelled like lemon cake and laundry soap and something new that asked for steadiness more than spectacle. We kept the music low so conversation could be heard without shouting. Laughter rose in little waves that never tipped into spectacle. A neighbor's kid toddled through the courtyard with a plastic watering can, helping a plant that didn't need help, and nobody corrected him. Jade taped Polaroids along a string, each one a proof-of-life snapshot of joy unbranded. We used paper plates that didn't match because matching felt like the wrong goal. Harmony mattered more than symmetry. The phone stayed silent all night while our boundaries finally held. I used to think generosity meant saying yes. Now I know it means choosing how and when and with whom. We set up two-factor authentication on everything, hid our registry behind unique links with long, ugly strings, and turned off link previews wherever we could. Jade showed me how to watermark screenshots and how to keep a plain language ledger. Date, event, source, action. When your memory fogs with feelings, the facts will find you. People asked if we forgave Kelsey. Forgiveness is a tall word. It needs scaffolding. We offered conditions instead: an apology that names the harm, repayment for what she resold, therapy or accountability with someone who will tell her no. She hasn't taken the offer. That's her choice. Ours is to keep the nursery quiet and the passwords long. In the evenings, when my feet ache, Daniel reads the notebook of advice our friends wrote at the redo shower. Jade's entry is 2 lines. Boundaries are love in advance. Screenshots are memory in ink. I laughed when I read it, then cried for 5 minutes, then slept better than I had in months. Before bed, I stand at the door and look at the bassinet and the small glow of the night light. The gifts are still just things, but now they're also proof that people can build you a tiny fence while you learn to build one yourself. I touch the closet door where the boundaries note lives and feel calm start in my fingers and travel inward like honest warmth. If you're where I was, here's the practical part. Write down everything, verify links, use two-factor, and never sign for yourself with someone else's smile. I keep a printed card by the modem now. Verify links, question urgency, write the timeline, ask for help early. It isn't romantic, but it is tender in a way that feeds real safety. When the baby kicks, I think about fences that are low enough to see over and strong enough to lean against. We didn't burn bridges. We posted signs and moved the path. Some people will still cross. Others will circle until they decide they can read the signs without resenting them. Our baby would learn love looks like yes, and sometimes no.